Hey folks, welcome back to Medieval Minecraft Creations. Or actually I dropped the creations, didn't I? I keep forgetting that. At any rate, Season 2, and I'm continuing that build I did, I was working on the big build. As you can see, I wanted to show at least just what I was doing to complete it from that main tower. I know I'm not going to be doing tutorial things anymore. Viewership kind of dropped off there on those. And a couple of comments kind of made me realize it, and I too self-critiquing, like I said last episode. I just didn't think it was really the right direction to go for this series. It's more like I want to present stuff that's more, I guess, just visually appealing than educational. I don't know if that makes sense, but it probably doesn't. But at any rate, yeah, I'm just sort of this whole first sequence here that I do with the roof does not work out. When I pull back, I don't like how the pitch of the roof is, so I end up wrecking it, I think. And as you can see there, I basically just sort of continue from where I was doing at the end of the last tutorial that I was doing for this. So it's probably something, if you really want to copy and you really analyze this video, you could probably finish the roof off. It's not really not too tough to do if you really wanted it. However, my main focus was just trying to get this done. The internal stuff I still have not done in any of these, and I don't know if that will be something very high on a priority list. Probably not. Probably not till much later in the series. I haven't even put in levels for this or anything. So the best thing to do is just basically get myself a pattern for the roof, and I go into the editor, copy that, and I just have to fill in the corners like I'm doing here. You could probably even copy paste the corners too if you want to, but particularly with such a huge roof like this, it was a tedious amount of time to do all that. And I decided to add like a little top section here, another sort of, I don't know, maybe it'll end up being another room sticking out. It really isn't very visible from the ground, this thing. And if I don't know if I show later on the actual elevation levels, but I'm literally getting up to the roof level of the world, which was actually increased in Minecraft several months ago. If you remember, it's like up like 256 now, or 250 something, or whatever it is, 250. I don't know, whatever it is. But I went way up there. I'm very close to the roof on this tower, which means it probably rivals some of those mountains you saw in the previous episode where I showed off my tour of the world generated with world paint. But interesting thing about this is, as you see here, I'm decorating the side. I end up copying this to each of the sides and just do it once. And I sort of have like this little thing kind of sticking out the side. I'm not really sure if you call this a full-blown turret or dormer or what this is, because it's not on the roof, so it's not a dormer. I really don't know what you would call this. It's just sort of a porch kind of box sticking off the side. I don't know what the technical term would be for this one. But I think it looks pretty good because it looked a little flat and boring up there on the top part. I sort of needed it. So you'll see that in a minute as soon as it's done here. But interesting thing was when I'm sort of like transitioning to doing things a little bit differently with this show. I decided to go into MCEdit, and strangely enough, when I left my Fraps, my recording program on, when I went in there after I did some of this stuff, and in times past that the Fraps little thing in the upper right corner would show the frame rate numbers, and that usually means you can record. But in times past in MCEdit, I have not been able to record in it. But strangely enough, I mean, I know it's gone through some recent changes. I'm actually able to record in MCEdit now, so I could actually do a few tutorials in that or something. But I think maybe that's better left for other people. I'm sure other people out there have made tutorials. It's not too difficult a program to learn on your own anyway. I pretty much learned it on my own. So I will show a section in here a little bit from now of me doing some stuff in MCEdit. And what I end up doing is doing a road right next to this, because this city is in a very narrow straight, kind of like, I don't know, almost on a peninsula, and it's hard to describe. I think maybe I'll probably show it in one of the later episodes when I show the city layout, which I'm thinking of doing next. I'm going to start working on maybe city walls and finishing off some of this stuff you're going to see here, because as you see, I pretty much finished this tower, and then I decide I'm going to make a walkway from one of the levels, stretching across this kind of like a valley, which is basically where the roadway is going to be going down that peninsula. The city of Omen itself, which is what this city is going to be, this particular city is going to be called the City of Omen, and that's the kingdom name too, will be on sort of like the side of the road. But the road, which you'll see in a little bit, which is going to go right underneath this walkway here, it'll be kind of outside the city, and it'll lead to those twin cities. If you remember watching the one episode where I showed some of the maps and some of the major cities there, I actually show you in this. This is MCEdit now. Basically, you could just like do mass fill-ins of certain block types. Makes it so much easier than going and individually placing the blocks. Even in creative mode, it takes quite a long time to lay some of this out. As you can see there, I'm doing a support pillar. I decided to change some of the what it is. What did I do? Wood. Yeah, I did wood. Unfortunately, you don't see the texture pack in MCEdit. I think they used to have some sort of functionality with that, but I don't think it works for 32-bit or more. I know it works for 16-bit texture packs, because I know that the other one from season 1 I did worked in here. So, yeah, I know. So this is sort of here me adjusting and making a road template. And basically just painting with the tool, and I'm doing some adjustments here. I had to do the height adjustment, as you see, because if it's too low, it doesn't even register. I wanted the proper width, I wanted it to be sort of wide enough for wagons and whatnot, so it's not going to be very narrow. And as you see here, I'm kind of going around hills and between forests and stuff. I may do some adjustments on this road at a later point in time, probably giving it some extra tender love and care at some point. But this whole series of footage in MCEdit is me kind of trying to navigate in here, and it takes a long time to render in some of this. It only wants to give you some of the render distance, so it's kind of a pain waiting for my memory to kind of catch up with things, and recording at the same time obviously is slowing it down even more here. So I just want to make sure I'm going in the proper direction when I'm drawing this, because I'm going to the more northern of the 220 cities, and they are sort of separated. They're sort of on peninsulas of their own. So you'll see, I can see here I make a little mess up and go back and readjust it. Basically, when I'm using the replace tool, I'm replacing grass, which is obviously on the only top level, with cobble. And there's going to be some areas there that I'm going to have to go back and touch up later. I'll touch some of those up, and some of them, I'm going to go in here, tender love and care later, a little bit later on, with scattering some grass and gravel blocks in between, making road signs. You'll have little villages and farmhouses along the way. And when it reaches the city walls, which I haven't obviously laid out the city walls for the other cities yet, so I might have to end up deleting part of the road in those areas and cutting back a little bit here. But we do go back to regular Minecraft footage here in a minute or two here. Finishing off that walkway, going across that tower, and making a banner too on that. I'm sort of leaning towards, yeah, see there's that kind of our little signal thing there that okay, here we go back. Hard to describe this stuff without you seeing it. I don't want to keep splicing in the map, but we're referring to old episodes. But if you've been watching this series, you know what some of these things I'm talking about. So would strongly suggest going back to some of them. And this is just me making kind of a support for this this bridge, which just having a plank going across just isn't going to cut it. And I made that mistake before with that bridge in season 1. just didn't look right. And I do a lot of work here to kind of thicken the bridge up a little bit. I'm also going to be doing obviously a lot of landscaping work around here as it goes in there. And this is sort of the banner for the city. Use some signs there, just kind of cover it up. And I go in and add buttons. So I go in and make a design. It's sort of like, I know it's not it's not a J. It's supposed to be sort of like a dragon. You can't really make, unless I made it even like 50 times huger. You know, it's hard to really make accurate pictures with it. So yeah, that's about it, guys. So I will that's the banner, and I will see you next time. Adios.